Let's have a look at this past HSC question. All right, so step 1, highlight keywords. What do I mean by that? Anything that you think is important in the question, which you can go back and if you've highlighted it, it's easy to find. So let's read this. 2 trees on level ground, 12 meters apart, are joined by a cable. So I'll say 12 meters apart, 2 trees. It is attached 2 meters above the ground to one tree and 11 meters above the ground to another tree. So 2 meters above the ground, 11 meters above the ground. What is the length of the cable between the 2 trees correct to the nearest meter? Okay, so after we've done that, you can tick that. Make sure you set a timer. Right, so if I was doing this whole paper, I would set a timer for it. I would attempt the question, obviously. Right, and let's say we get stuck. Right, we don't know how to do this. What do I mean by have a quick glance at the answers? I mean going down here, having a quick look and seeing what they've done here. Okay, they've used Pythagoras. I now realize that I have to use Pythagoras for this equation. Therefore, I can solve it. Right. That's all you have to do for that. Right. So if you have a quick glance and you can solve it after just having a look at what formula they used, right, you can just continue on with the question. Remember, we want speed when we're doing this. We want to get through questions as quick as possible. But what about if we're still stuck, right? If I have a look at this, and I have no idea what Pythagoras' theorem is, right? I do what we've been doing before. I go to the textbook and I revise, right? I go through the example and see how I can get a similar answer. I ask why they did everything, and I make sure my answer and my working matches the examples. After I finish the examples, I go on to these questions. Maybe I do 3 from here just to confirm my knowledge, and then I move on. So after we've done the textbook work, we come back and we put an asterisk next to, let me just get here. So after we've reviewed the textbook, right, and we figured out how to answer the questions correctly, we put an asterisk here, right, saying what we need to do better for next time. So maybe it's adding, or it's not adding. Maybe I just put the formula, right? A squared plus B squared equals C squared. That way, when we're going through this question again, we can see that we've left a mark here, right? We left this mark here, and we've left a little saying here as well, what we need to do for next time. And that will ignite that little spark in those train tracks, saying we need to go here instead of going here, right? And then the more questions you do like that, the more that pathway will be solidified, so you get to know more and you understand things so much better. So that's this method. I'm going to give you another example now. So going through this example again, we'll have this. What is the area of the triangle to the nearest square meter? So nearest square meter, area. And let's say I had no idea how to do this, right? First, I highlighted the key questions or the key words. I also set a time limit, right? I attempted the question, did something, still stuck, try A, B. And by the way, for this attempt all questions, try something. We're going to go into, I think it's in the exam preparation module of how to answer questions which we have absolutely no idea how to do, right? And this is going to be very beneficial when you're doing your practice papers, and also very beneficial when you are in an exam as well. So just a side note for later. Still stuck, try A or B. So A, have a quick glance at the answers. Let's go down, question 4. Okay, using sine rule, area equals half AB sine C. Okay, let's say I get it from there, right? I just continue on with the question, trying to get it right, using this formula, plugging in the values. But if I do not understand this formula, and I don't understand where it's come from, I've never used it before, all I'll do is the same thing. I'll go to the textbook and revise. So an easy way to do this is literally just Control F, like area of triangle. So I found it here. Area of a triangle. And I'll just go through. Again, I never read this part. I go straight to the example and then go here and read this stuff if necessary. Right, I'll have a go at the example, making sure I can do it by myself, making sure the working matches the example. Then I'll go on to these questions here. Maybe I do 3 out of 3 out of 11, or maybe I just do 2, just enough to solidify that knowledge. After I've done that, I come back to the question and I attempt this one again. Right, you not just copying the answers, but utilizing the knowledge that I've learned previously into this question. Right, so using this example, we've learned this formula here. We've got this kind of ice cream shape A, B, and then our angle here. Right, and all we have to do is plug in the values. So they've done that here. I will do it myself, then come over here and see if I can apply that same foundational knowledge into this question, right? Practicing a variety of questions that challenge us as well. After I've done that, I do an asterisk sign next to it, and I put, I don't know, maybe the area of the area formula, or maybe I put ice cream cone to remind me that it's that shape, or maybe I put don't minus a number or don't plus a number. Whatever you did wrong, just write that, right? Write the correction, write how you're not going to do it wrong again. And after you've done that, right, make sure your answers match the answers, and then go through the incorrect ones again until you master it. Now, I'd just like to say that it's crucial that you learn to understand, right? Not just memorize, understand. That allows you to apply knowledge from one area to another. It makes sure that those train tracks that we planted are solidified, that they're strong, they're not going to break. So it's so important that you learn to understand and not just memorize, right? It's going to serve you very, very well in life. So keep going with that. I'll see you in the next lesson.